Nancy, it was great that you shared the story about Greenworks, because there's an example where you've taken category, the whole theme of the conference is really like, getting to the next level of category leadership with store brands as opposed to followership. And I guess there's a great example of where you've been able to do that, using sustainability as a competitive edge to your advantage. From but getting tied in with suppliers is key. You mentioned it, okay, we could get it done if we partner and collaborate. The past 2 days, there's been a lot of conversation around the need to change and evolve the nature of the relationship between retailers and manufacturers as it relates to driving growth in store brands. So let's dig into that topic a little bit. What does evolving the relationship between retailers and suppliers mean to each of you? Yeah, sure.
I guess for me, I believe it starts with trust. And it's not us and them. I believe it starts with real trust. We talk about partnering, but we don't really do it. And I feel like we have to be on the same page and recognize that we both need each other, and we do need to trust. And I feel like as a retailer, it's easy for us to, you're the seller, and for us to just tell everybody what we need and then not help others understand and suppliers understand what's going on and why. So I feel like that we have to start trusting them with information, start helping them understand why we're asking for what we're asking, so they understand where we're coming from, whether it's some internal data we have to trust. We have to ask for suppliers. We have to recognize that you are experts in your area, and we have to help you provide that information to us, and not just say, this is what we believe our shoppers want from all of our insights. We have to stop and listen and hear what you have to say. So I think that's very important. I would say to the supplier community, it's really important that you understand that we have a huge sense of urgency to move fast. Move really, really fast in order for us to lead. So we don't have...
Because the guests are changing fast.
Yes, they are. And so we don't have the luxury, and I feel like we're pulling suppliers along a lot of times. I feel like we still have... we heard a lot through the conference about building brands that are proprietary, that drive loyalty, and I still feel that we have a lot of manufacturers that don't really want to do proprietary formulation. It's no longer an option. If that doesn't work in your model, then we have to work with different suppliers. We have to have proprietary areas that we can differentiate and drive loyalty. That's just not a choice anymore. It's the only way we're going to operate. We can't be me too, and that's not our desire. So I feel like if the manufacturers understand that and work with us, retailers have to start divulging that trust, divulging that information, and work together differently if we can get there fast.
And we're counting on our suppliers to bring us innovations. In the very recent past, we've done some reverse auctions on some products, which I know suppliers hate, and I hate it too, because by definition, you're doing a reverse auction for a commodity product. That's problem number one. That's not going to be innovative. And then number two, you're going to get the company that may or may not can meet that price, may or not be a healthy company, buying product on the spot market, and they're going to be the lowest common denominator when it comes to research and development and innovation. They're not going to be able to bring that to you. So I'm trying to sell to my organization, let's pay a nickel more, or something more, so that we get the kind of suppliers that can really bring us that innovation. We have a pretty small office, a pretty small organization, and we don't have those resources to go out and develop that in a lot of cases. So we're really counting on our suppliers to bring that to us. And we're also known as a destination for new. We've been able to negotiate some exclusive Gatorade flavors and some things like that. There's a Coke product coming out that we're going to have an exclusive on for a certain period of time. And we want the same thing on private brands.
Yeah, for us, it's shared goals. That creates that trust, that creates that innovation. And there's some people who are doing it out there. And sometimes in the supplier community, sometimes in the design community. Bobby Ray showed up from Select. He showed up in our office, on his own volition, with some great concepts against our premium brand that we hadn't even thought about. We were ready to run that day. Now all we have to do is sell them the merchandiser and do what we have to do. But it's ideas like that and taking on the retailer's goals and the objectives that we have instead of just trying to get more MBE. Because if you bring us an MBE, well, if your MBE for me matches the national brand, well, that's not going to differentiate me from Nancy or Roy. So we're all level playing field. But if you bring us something where we're trying to differentiate ourselves, just as everybody else is trying to differentiate themselves in different ways, that's going to create a much stronger relationship. And you can do it. The same supplier can do it with each one of us in a different way to match our objectives. And I think that that's the way that you're gonna really evolve the relationship.
And it reminded me of one more thing, that we really look at our business and challenge our manufacturers to deliver the and, so exactly, going beyond the national brand match. But here is the product or the innovation or the formula, but what's the and? Is it a refillable bag? Is it a different flavor profile? Is it got more chocolate chips in it or whatever else? How do we deliver that and so we continue to drive consumers to trust these items as bigger and better, and these become national brands just like any other national brand?
And that kind of piggybacks on some of the other things we talked about, is how do we sell in own brands and private label into the organization? And when you come in with innovations that we can take to the merchandisers that make their eyes pop, and it's not just another cereal or another juice, that makes a difference in our organization. It gains more credibility for store brands, and that helps to raise the tide for everyone.
And that gets the rest of the management excited about store brands.
Exactly.
And I just want to add to that, I mean, long term, those guys are then roped into our business, right? We're not gonna walk away from that once we own it, so they're gonna get awarded with not only that existing business, but more business. Go ahead.
And that's part of the thought, and it's incumbent upon us too, to play our part. The trust that you talked about is, you come to us with and work with us to create that specialized formula. Well, we shouldn't be walking down the street and shopping around for the best price. We should be giving you guys exclusive, and there should be a real
We
partnership.
have to get better at that.
So, I guess one more follow-on on this topic about proprietary formulations. Because I think this is a big topic, because the demand for customization by retailers is just going to increase, and it's going to be around more than just formulations. Do you see yourselves coming up with the formulations and then taking them to manufacturers, or are you counting on more of like what Bobby Ray from Select Store Brands did with you, Tom, where based on his knowledge of your business, he came to you with some new items and products that he thought might match your goals?
I've been in both situations, where people are coming. I think that's a great, that really shows a lot from a supplier standpoint. But then it's also, I don't know if any of the gang from Office Max is still here. When they created the Tool brand, I was with them. I was lucky enough to be there at the time, and it was all done inside. Very, very unique approach, and I know they've developed their brand very methodically, and they're really making a difference for their business. And so I think it can be done either way. It depends upon your strategy, your resources, but I certainly wouldn't wait for us to come up with them. If you've got them, bring them to us.
Nancy, Roy, any follow on this?
I would just comment, absolutely agree, but I would say we expect our suppliers to bring us innovation. We expect for them in their categories where they're experts to constantly have an eye to innovating. We cannot do today what we did yesterday, and that's gonna continue. So do not feel comfortable at where you're at, because the competition is right behind you. We expect you to bring us innovation. On the other hand, that's my job. I'm in charge of innovation. We have product developers, we have culinary groups. We are constantly working to look at consumers and shoppers' needs. So of course, we have a responsibility, and we'll bring those innovations and look for folks to work together. So it is, it should be a partnership in many ways, but can't reinforce enough how much we do expect innovation from our suppliers all the time too.